This video contains graphic images and descriptions of severe animal injuries and surgical treatment. Viewer discretion is advised. We share this story to educate and advocate. Please watch at your comfort level.
Tulip! Come on, Tulip! Happy overload! Where did Tulip is? How does a cat do that happen?
Hi, I'm Terry Kyle, the Australian co-founder of WPX.net, and WPX is a high-speed, independent WordPress hosting company for small businesses and for solopreneurs. And since 2016, WPX has been taking care of hundreds of homeless dogs. And about 5 years ago, we actually opened our own dog shelter, and we have our own rescue dog foundation over at everydogmatters.org. And this series, Dog Shelter Diary, tells the stories of our wonderful dogs, our homeless dogs at the shelter, the brilliant people who make it all possible, and all the bits and pieces of daily life with Every Dog Matters and our dog shelter. Today we're at the home of our director of the foundation, Ivanka Patterson, and we're going to meet one of her beautiful rescue dogs, a dog called Tulip. And the case with Tulip is the most shocking case of animal cruelty that I've ever seen, and I've been working in this sector since 2016. Now, there is a happy ending to this story, but the situation for Tulip was pretty disturbing. But we're going to find out all of the details now when we talk to Ivanka. One of the important parts of Dog Shelter Diary is getting to meet the people behind the foundation and also the dog shelter, of course. Ivanka has been a wonderful asset and servant of Every Dog Matters, helping dogs for many years. And she has been with Every Dog Matters for the last 4 years, I believe. It's 4 years now, that time. It's gone like that. When I first met Tulip, this was one of the most shocking, probably the most shocking case of animal abuse I've ever encountered. Today, we're going to hear all about Tulip's story. We're going to meet her. She's a beautiful, sweet, very charming dog. We're going to find out the details about her life. So, Ivanka, great to have you on Dog Shelter Diary finally.
Thank you, Terry.
Well, before we meet Tulip, let's hear a little bit about her story and how you first came to hear about her.
Tulip is actually an extremely important dog in my life because I can openly say and wholeheartedly say that thanks to her, I'm in the animal welfare sector. When I met Tulip, I was still living in Germany. I was just at home one day doing the normal stuff we do nowadays, scrolling my social media.
Yep.
And I saw a post by an animal welfare organization here in Bulgaria, Animal Rescue Sofia. And I saw a post about this dog that has been shot in the face with a shotgun. And her whole face had been blown off. And the foundation was just looking for a support because they had to perform surgery on her. And the post about her just shocked me. We started donating for Tulip because she needed very difficult surgeries because her state was horrible. I still cannot even comprehend it. It was in a village near Kostinbrod, by the way. Her owner, who was the local bully, had shot her in the face while she was pregnant with the shotgun and had thrown her on the streets. She had hit by a car. She had given birth under that car. And the local people had started taking her puppies one by one, and they were just throwing some food for her. But they were so afraid of this person that nobody signaled to the police. They were afraid of that person, that he could harm them potentially. So after she stayed under that car for a month and a half with an open wound, and at some point one girl couldn't stand seeing her suffer so much, and she contacted Animal Rescue Sofia, and of course they came to her rescue immediately. The foundation was just looking for a support because they had to perform surgery on her. And the post about her just shocked me. Really shocked me because before Germany, I had lived for 8 years in Italy. I left in mid-20s. I was in mid-20s when I left Bulgaria. And for all these years that I spent outside of Bulgaria, I haven't had seen such a level of animal. I just was not exposed to any animal cruelty or abuse. So when I came across this post, it just shocked me thoroughly. It just hit me so hard that I couldn't get it out of my head at all. So my initial reaction was to immediately donate about her. But I was also at this stage of my life when my husband and I, we had already decided to move back to Bulgaria. We had decided to buy a house here and with enough land that we could have more dogs. My husband and I had decided each one of us is going to adopt one more dog. So we're going to have a total of 3. And I was just set on Tulip. I was like, that's going to be my dog. Because in my head, I imagined that a dog without a face, who's going to adopt that dog?
Yeah.
I thought that she's going to rot in the shelter forever. Because let's be honest, a dog without a face is not the prettiest, is it? I just kept on donating for her, and I kept on asking the foundation about her state. And I stated that once she's available for adoption, I would like to take her in. And I think I stayed in contact for about 5-6 months, I think. And it took about more or less that much time for us to move to Bulgaria. So we pretty much drove ourselves from Germany to Bulgaria. We slept over. And on the next day, we were in the shelter to see her. She was still in their clinic, where she had spent, I think, 7 months. Because she had a total of 3 surgeries for her facial reconstruction so she could actually function. And it was love at first sight. I'm not gonna lie, it was very shocking. It was, even for me, though I had seen photos of her, the team of Animal Rescue Sofia were regularly sending me videos of her. So though I was ready, the real contact was shocking. Once after I left the shelter, I think I cried for 2 weeks straight.
Here we are with Tulip, and now she's getting a tummy rub. She's very affectionate and cuddly. And I wanted to ask you, Ivanka, because now you've been with Every Dog Matters for 4 years. And even before that, you were doing volunteer work at another organization as well. How do you cope with seeing shocking cases of animal violence and cruelty? How do you cope with that and not walk away?
I'm not going to lie, it takes time. Initially, when I started, every case was bringing me to tears. And from every case was keeping me awake for nights and nights and nights. So it really takes time to toughen up. You need to toughen up in order to be able to continue. Otherwise, you're just going to crumble to pieces and you won't be able to continue and do the work that you want to do. And I think what saves me to continue is to focus on the good cases. Let's be honest, 99% of the times we manage to bring the case to a happy end. I like to say that the coin has 2 sides, right? But we choose which side to look at. We know that when we encounter a case of violence, we know that 99% of the time, the human is the responsible for that action, that the dog has been a victim of a cruelty, and that it's a victim because a human has done the bad deed, right? But if we focus on that, it's just going to make us suffer more. It's going to make us bitter. It's going to make us angry, but it's not going to solve anything. So I just learned with time that I need to stay as less focused on this side of the coin as possible. And I need to focus on, okay, the deed is done. The dog is with us now. The dog is now safe. Let's focus on what we have to do to save the life of the dog and move forward and execute. And then once the dog's life is saved, the dog is stable, we have performed all the necessary surgeries and interventions. Let's focus on the next. Take good photos of the dog, socialize the dog, work with the dog, with the other volunteers and staff members, and then proceed to find the best home. If we don't focus on the good, the severe truth is that all the workers in the animal welfare sector are really prone to compassion fatigue. Because we really witness every single day so much suffering. We every day witness suffering in smaller, medium, or larger doses that it's impossible that it doesn't hit you.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, I had to reach a point quite a few years back where I realized if I cave in and crumble and walk away, I cannot help any more dogs.
Yeah.
And I'm just flicking the responsibility to other people or organizations that may not even exist. If you work in this sector, you are just going to be exposed to pretty bad stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and you just have to toughen up to that.
You toughen up, and it takes time. With every case, you just toughen up and you find your own way.
We have a page on our website, which we call Happily Ever Afters, and these are the successful adoptions of our dogs in the past. And the funny thing about that page is whenever I feel really low and down about getting overwhelmed with cases like Tulip or even less severe ones, it keeps you going.
Yes.
So in a funny way, it's as important for us internally as it is for other people just observing
It is.
how we function as an organization. So I'll leave a link to our Happily Ever Afters page, and you can see where all of these dogs have gone to great lives all across Europe here.
Hi, Shoshone. Every time I pet Mars, you want to be petted too, I know.
So Tulip now is 11.
She is. She started slowing down. We noticed with Will. She is like a lizard. Her favorite thing to do, and it has always been ever since we got her, is to just simply lie down in the middle of the garden and sunbathe. It can be 45 degrees outside, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, blazing sun. She's in the middle of the sun, just in the middle of the garden sunbathing. And we're like, we need to go and check every now and then if she's alive, because she'll stay under the sun for 2-3 hours, and I get afraid that she'll get like a sunstroke, heat stroke or something. She loves it. She absolutely loves it. But she started slowing down. She doesn't play with the others as much as she used to. She just prefers to just chill.
How long do you think Tulip will live? Have you got a rough idea?
Honestly, when I adopted her, nobody was sure. With her, everything was always vague because the case is so extraordinary. So she surprised us all already that she made it to 11. And luckily for all of us, because her being with blood infection for so long, because she was with open wound for a month and a half under the scar after the accident happened, she became resistant to all antibiotics but one. So I was always afraid that if she ever gets sick, how we're going to treat her. But ever since we adopted her, she has never, ever been sick from anything. She made it to 11, so I'm really hopeful she has at least another 5. Oh, fingers crossed.
Dogs should live longer.
I'm very hopeful.
So that's Tulip's story. Thank you, Ivanka.
You're very welcome.
And she's a beautiful girl. She's got a wonderful character.
She's the sweetest girl.
Dog.
She is.
Hi, Julie. Hi, baby girl. Hi, Tulip J. Hi, baby Shoki.